going to take a lot of time and a lot of building and inventory coming to the market to like get supply to meet demand.
Yep.
So I don't see it going down anytime soon. So if you're trying to wait, I wouldn't recommend that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Break It Down with Braydon. Super excited. I've got Natalie Jacobson on today.
Hey, Braydon.
Thanks for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me.
Natalie's with Launch Real Estate and just absolutely crushing it out there. It's been kind of cool to see what you've got going on, and we've got a lot of mutual connections and stuff, so it's been cool to kind of get to know you and see kind of what you've got going on in the community and stuff. So,
well, thank you.
Tell a little bit about what you got going out there and your business and how long you've been doing it.
So I've been in real estate a little over 2 years. Yep. I started right out of college, and I went to Russ Lyon. I recently moved to Launch like 2 weeks ago, but I'm super excited about it.
Yep, we'll talk more about that in a second.
Yeah, and joined a team, and I'm just, working the kind of luxury residential market.
Love it. So yeah, you made mention you just moved to a team.
Mm-hmm.
Which team did you go to?
I'm on the Builders Group, which is Frank DiMaggio's team. He's a developer here in town, also an agent. But does a lot of development deals. So I'm super excited to get into that with him.
Yeah, very cool. What made you make that move?
I've known Frank for years.
Okay.
He has done some houses for my parents.
Okay.
So I just knew him through that. And he knew I've always wanted to go into development because I always talk about it, but I just kind of didn't have the guts to go for it. So he kind of made the first move and was like, I think you should move to my team. He showed me a deal. So I just bought my first flip like a week ago, and we're getting started on it ASAP. So that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah. Tell everybody that aren't familiar with Frank kind of what his model is and kind of how he goes about it, because I think that plays a big role as to why you probably made the move. Yeah.
So he does luxury development. So anything from flips, remodels to full new builds, primarily in PV and Scottsdale. And he's just amazing at what he does. He's a hustler, mover and shaker. He's very commanding and aggressive and just always knows what's going on in the market. So he's kind of a force to be reckoned with. So I'm very excited to be working with him and learn the ropes of development.
I love it. Tell us a little bit about the project you're talking about then. So what's the one that you just bought?
Yeah, so he found the deal, showed it to me. My dad and I bought it together. He's my investor.
Love it.
And it's in Gainey, and it's really great because it only needs cosmetic stuff. We don't have to move a lot of walls, do major construction. It's kind of just finishes and getting it up to date.
Upgrading all the appliances and everything. And
actually, the appliances are great.
Okay.
So it's a lot of like countertops, paint,
got it.
Redoing the pool, stuff like that.
Okay.
So it'll only take maybe like 3-4 months to get it done. Hopefully.
Yep.
Things take so long right now.
What's the price point on that one?
So we bought it for $1.95.
Okay. And
so
what's the goal?
Probably 2.7, 2.8.
Okay.
When we're done with it.
Yep.
Fingers crossed.
Yep. And that's, from what I've seen, that's pretty standard in what he's doing, right? It's kind of that price point of the higher end flips, which is kind of open things up for you guys because a lot of people are kind of scared of going into those. So it's...
I was.
Yeah.
For sure. It's really scary to put that much money on the line, but I know I have a good mentor.
Yep. How we know each other, or how we've at least made some connections anyways, is through the organization that you're a part of, which is VOS. Tell everybody a little bit about that and your involvement there.
Yeah, so VOS, the Valley of the Sun 2030 Club, it's a mouthful, is the women's 2030 club, and we volunteer and fundraise for local children's charities, and it's been amazing. Like, one of the best decisions I made was joining VOS, because I've made so many great friends through it.
Cool. Yeah, it's just an awesome group. And what about, tell us about a couple of the events that you guys do throughout the year.
So we have our big event called Viva, which we do in the spring, which is just a beautiful, kind of gala. It's disco themed.
Yep.
And we also do a big kickball tournament, which we just had, which was super. I didn't play because athletics aren't my strong suit. I know my place, but our big kickball tournament raised like 20 or 30,000 this year, I think.
That's awesome.
And then a lot of smaller fundraisers throughout the year.
Cool.
It's great. I love it. I didn't know that I loved volunteering as much as I do until I joined VOS. And I was like, oh my God, I actually love this.
Yeah, the first day Natalie and I met, we were meeting for coffee, and she walks in and I'm like, hey, look who it is. And she's like, who the hell is this girl? And it was one of the girls in VOS. She's like, oh, okay. And we kind of put together like how we knew each other. I'm like,
yeah, he pointed to this girl and I thought it was like his secretary or something. I had to check in with her before I could talk to him, but it turned out to be a friend, but it was funny.
Where do you see the general market going?
I think it's going to keep accelerating, keep getting hotter, but just at a lesser pace than it has been. People always talk about, oh, the market's just going to cool way off or it's going to crash. Our supply is so low right now. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of building and inventory coming to the market to like get supply to meet demand.
Yep.
So I don't see it going down anytime soon. So if you're trying to wait, I wouldn't recommend that.
Yep. I know your focus is primarily on luxury.
Mm-hmm.
Tell everybody kind of how you've kind of separated yourself and kind of elevated your level of service kind of on that side.
So I always wanted to do luxury because the reason I'm involved in real estate is because genuinely I love homes. I love architecture. I love design. That's what I'm passionate about. So I think if you can really understand a luxury home and be able to like knowledgeably talk about finishes and neighborhoods and understand, oh, this street is worth more than the one next door because of XYZ, that brings a lot of expertise and a lot of benefit to your client. So I think it's just really learning the luxury market and learning a luxury home.
I agree. Yeah, the finishes are so different than a luxury home than your normal track home or whatever in Scottsdale or in Arizona.
Yeah, and it's important to be able to say, like, this is a really great brand and this house is worth more because of the appliances that they have in and because these floors are more expensive and this is imported from here. That sets you apart and makes you seem like you really know what you're talking about and brings value.
Had you on here, obviously, to talk about yourself, but now that you've moved over to Frank's team, can you talk a little bit more about kind of his business and stuff and how he kind of progressed to where he's at? Because I think it's pretty relevant to kind of where you're going in your business.
Yeah, he is a hustler. So he just worked his way up. He's not been in real estate for all that long for how...
I was going to say, I didn't feel like he's been with Launch for all that long.
I think like 5 years.
Pretty crazy numbers last year.
Yeah, like 5 or 6 years. He did like over 100 million last year.
Yeah.
And he started out doing like the more typical flips, and then he's really built his business into the luxury market as he's gone and just, getting the money out, getting the equity out and putting that into the next thing.
Yep.
And now he's doing $10, $15 million homes. So he's really...
When you walk into a house with him, is he just like, oh yeah, that's a so-and-so and that's this and this and I would have done this, and he just like knows literally everything, and that's why people are like, all right, yeah, this guy clearly knows his stuff.
Every time I'm with him, I learn things.
Yep.
Because not only is he a realtor, but he's a contractor. So he knows like the minutia of things. So I always learn a lot. And he's just truly an expert on pricing a home, what finishes it needs to get to this price point. He's really knowledgeable.
Yeah. Tell us about some of your like past clients, past experiences in real estate. What's been like your favorite thing about it so far and your biggest struggle?
Well, my first few deals were like $250,000, and I swear, people don't believe me, those are more work.
Oh yeah.
Than the $5-6 million deals.
A lot more education.
Yeah.
A lot more finances that they're really, not struggling with, but it's, the biggest purchase ever, and that dollar amount is really more important.
There's a lot of moving parts. I mean, I was calling contractors. I was there telling them, oh, we have to do this, and calling lenders, and, it's just a lot of work. So. And I think in the beginning, if you don't choose your market will choose you.
Oh, I love that.
So I started off with that. It was a great experience. And I really did learn so much. And then I kind of pulled back and I said, I really want to focus in on luxury.
Yep.
And I've been kind of fortunate to just have a lot of family and friends and acquaintances that are in those markets. And just making sure that they know I'm a realtor and I'd love to help them, and just keeping yourself top of mind for people.
Yep.
And that's how I've gotten a lot of business.
Yeah, I just kind of looking at your history and stuff. It's like, okay, she just keeps going up and up and up in price point and
Fingers
stuff.
Fingers crossed it stays that way.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yep. That's a good problem to have, that's for sure.
Yeah, I love the luxury sector because, like I said, I love design. Like for me, it's about the houses. Like if I have a beautiful home to sell, my day is made.
Yep.
So I really love where I've gotten to so far.
Yeah. Yeah. I commend you, one, for what you've accomplished, and two, taking the next step to kind of have a mentor to take it to the next level even, and recognize where what's possible.
Yeah. I always was solo the first 2 years. So this is definitely a new step for me. And I was nervous about joining a team because I love my independence, but I know it's going to be so amazing. It's such a great learning experience.
Yep. Yeah, they always say that one of the hardest things that we have as humans is asking for help. And so having a mentor like that, especially in this business, is huge, because we don't know what we don't know. And relying on someone else's experiences and someone else's expertise with something like that on a massive scale of a development or a flip is huge. I mean, it's a lot of money that you're telling somebody to put in and invest with you, and you got to kind of have that positive outcome. And so having the track record behind you of like, hey, look at all these that he's already done, makes it pretty easy to go, hey,
he's a great reference.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing we do with our title company. It's like, hey, look at all the past closings and what we've done over the years. It's pretty easy for us to be like, oh, well, you should come try and work with us, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Just what you're doing. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. What about your biggest hurdle? What's been your biggest struggle in real estate?
I would say being young.
Yeah.
It's an advantage too.
Yep. Pros and cons for sure.
But definitely it can be difficult as a 25-year-old to say, yeah, trust me with your biggest asset. That can be really difficult. So I think just proving to people that I do have a proven track record. I take this seriously. I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. Yep. That's the hardest thing. And sometimes people they see that you're young, and there's no overcoming that for some people. But hopefully, you find people that you click with, and they'll trust you.
I completely agree. When I first got started in the business, I'm a lot older than you now, which is kind of funny to say, but just turned 32 on Monday or Sunday last week.
Gosh.
No big deal. But I feel like I'm finally starting to get out of that, where people are like, oh, well, he's been doing this for long enough. Like, screw the age kind of thing.
He's an adult now.
Yeah, exactly. But I completely understand that. And I think it's going to pay you dividends, having that mentor and having that person kind of behind you. Like, you've already done it as well, but now you have look at this experience as well that I got behind you. So I think that's going to play a huge role. Exactly.
Having that team and having his years of experience only bolsters my experience and reputation. So.
Well, and you've been killing it on the resale, but now you'll have the development side, which just adds a whole nother leg to your business, which is awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What was I saying? What's the goals for Natalie for 2022? What's on the horizon here?
Well, hopefully that's the first of many flips.
Yep.
I'm already looking for the next one, but
cool.
We'll see. I'm trying to not get in over my head.
Yep.
I'm like, get the first one done. First things first. So hopefully that, and then just helping Frank with whatever help he needs.
Yep.
And hopefully getting some new buyers and listings. I mean, just growing my business, really.
Yep.
So hopefully a fun few trips in there too.
Love it. Well, Natalie, thank you so much for joining me today. You're doing amazing stuff out there in the community. Awesome watching you build your business. It's cool to see where you're going, and just want to have you on here and kind of let everyone know what's possible out there. So it's cool to see.
Thank you so much.
Although you're young and stuff, you've accomplished a lot in a quick time, and so it's
thank you.
A lot of people get discouraged in this business, so it's cool to see some successes. So
yeah, it's really hard in the beginning, but if you stick to it, it'll be worth it.
Awesome. Well, if anyone wants to get a hold of you, how can they find you?
Phone number 405795339. Shoot me a text. Email me nataliemjacobson@outlook.com. And if you have any questions, reach out.
Awesome. Well, Natalie Jacobson with Launch Real Estate, and thanks for sticking in for another episode of Break It Down with Braydon. And stay tuned for another episode, guys. Thanks.